The fix is in. I'm telling y'all right now, the fix is in, and you're gonna be mad. I'm trying to brace your fall. I don't want you to just fall out of the air and land on the ground. I want you to be able to use your forearm to break the fall, your shoulder, something. I'm trying to help you brace for this fall in this harsh reality that Stephanie White has built this team around Kelsey Mitchell, not Caitlin Clark, and Sophie Cunningham has said it herself. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, hype the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. We got to get into this.
Sophie Cunningham didn't just offer a casual opinion. She dropped a massive bombshell that should have sent shockwaves through the entire WNBA. She essentially confirmed what many fans feared but few dared to voice. The Indiana Fever are not constructing a dynasty around Caitlin Clark. Instead, they are meticulously tailoring every offensive play to favor Kelsey Mitchell, while the most influential star in basketball history is left standing idle on the perimeter. This feels like a betrayal of the supporters, a betrayal of the sport, and Cunningham just provided the undeniable evidence. This isn't merely a minor change in tactics. It is a complete organizational shift away from the very individual who put this franchise back on the map in the first place.
It's because they have built this roster up around Kelsey Mitchell, and Sophie Cunningham is going to say it herself. We got to get into it, man, because I think it's disgusting that they're trying to use Caitlin Clark to continue to sell tickets, to make money and all of this stuff, but they want to build the team around somebody else. You can't have it both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it too. We're not doing that. Let's take a listen to what Sophie had to say.
Braven Johnson, she was the highest draft personality. Like, she fit right in. She was the She's been overseas, but she's a great lefty. She was drafted a couple years ago, fit right into shoot it. She's just a scorer, like really good. She's from Alabama.
The clues were visible for anyone paying attention. But now, those hints have been replaced by a clear trail of evidence leading to a startling conclusion. Sophie didn't hesitate when she detailed the offensive strategy. She made it perfectly clear that the plays are designed specifically to get Mitchell to her dominant left hand and her favorite shooting spots. While the public believes they are tuning in for the Caitlin Clark show, the reality behind the scenes is far more calculated and intentional. It is almost as if the organization is trying to prove they can find success without letting their superstar shine too brightly. It is honestly painful to witness. Strong hand for Aya Wilson.
Hard to watch.
Strong hand for Asia Wilson.
All of our plays are run so Kelsey Mitchell can get to her strong hand. Nothing is run for Caitlin Clark. This offense has been built around Kelsey Mitchell. Sophie Cunningham just said all of our offense is built so that Kelsey Mitchell can get to her left hand. The breadcrumbs have been there, people. You just had to pick them up. You just had to pick them up, follow the trail, and you would have saw this. The proof is in the pudding, man. The proof is in the pudding. They are building the team around Kelsey Mitchell.
It is no longer just a rumor because these words came directly from a player who sees the playbook every single day in practice. Cunningham's claim that the offense is constructed for Mitchell to potentially win the MVP is a total slap in the face to every person who purchased a season ticket. Why would a franchise with a generational talent like Clark decide to shift their entire strategy towards someone else? It feels like a deliberate effort to keep the spotlight away from the one person who actually drew the massive crowds to the arena. They are capitalizing on her fame while seemingly ignoring her unique skills. The irony of the situation is absolutely stifling.
Tailored for Kelsey Mitchell and not Caitlin Clark. Don't be surprised. I'm trying to help you brace for the fall. The fix is in, guys. The Caitlin Clark MVP thing, it's over. It's over. This team is built for somebody else. The coach is catering the offense to someone else. It's that simple. It's not confusing. And this is just what it is. We've now heard the head coach come out and say, oh, this offense is built to get Kelsey Mitchell into her spots. Now we hear Sophie Cunningham come out and say, oh, this offense is built to get Kelsey Mitchell going to her left hand.
Consider the sheer boldness of this predicament for a moment. You have the most celebrated prospect in the history of the league, a player who shattered every record, and you are forcing her to play off the ball. You are turning her into a mere decoy. Sophie Cunningham confirmed that the primary focus is on Mitchell's speed and her ability to drive to the basket with her left hand. Clark is essentially being used as a human billboard to sell out stadiums, while the actual basketball being played completely overlooks her greatest strengths. It is a tactical failure that is being hidden by high attendance numbers that Clark herself is responsible for generating.
Or any of them talk about Caitlin Clark winning MVP? Take your time, I'll wait. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. This whole team is built for Kelsey Mitchell. The offense that Stephanie White has created, which is to take the ball out of Caitlin Clark's hands, make Aaliyah Boston the hub so that Aaliyah Boston can run two-man with Kelsey Mitchell, get Kelsey Mitchell going left and all this stuff. It's built around someone else. And if that's what you want to do, fine. But don't be trying to use her for money.
And if that is the path you want to take, that's fine. But do not try to use her just for the financial gain. Don't do it. This isn't simply one person's perspective. It is a systemic breakdown from the top of the organization all the way down to the coaching staff. Even the head coach, Christy Sides, has reflected these same ideas in her recent public remarks. She openly discussed structuring the offense to get Kelsey Mitchell into her preferred spots. When the coach and the veteran players are all saying the same thing, it isn't an accident. It is a strategy. It is a clear message to Caitlin Clark that she might be the face of the WNBA, but she is not the focal point of this specific locker room. That is a very dangerous game for any team to play.
Trying to stick up the fans. This is why y'all are having to cut y'all prices down. This is why the tickets aren't selling like they was, because y'all are trying to do sly, slick moves like this. Y'all trying to do sly, slick moves like this, and the people aren't going for it. The people aren't going for it. We see right through you. Why is Sophie Cunningham talking about Kelsey Mitchell winning MVP? What the hell? What the hell?
We'll say like Kelsey Mitchell, who could be the MVP this year. Who knows? She's just so good. Mm-hmm. Like, all of our plays are run so she can get to her strong hand.
All of our plays are run so she can get to her strong hand.
For Asia Wilson, all the plays are for her left hand. Like, yes, they know how to go right, but...
The disconnect between what the fans expect to see and what the organization is actually doing is reaching a breaking point that could ruin the entire season. People are starting to realize that the product on the court does not match the marketing at all. The Indiana Fever are trying to have it both ways. They want the Clark revenue, the national television coverage, and the sold-out arenas, but they refuse to give her the keys to the offense. It is a classic bait-and-switch that is starting to fail in a massive way as fans begin to notice how stagnant the play looks whenever the ball isn't in Caitlin's hands.
It's not just the coach. The front office, the league, I feel like everybody's in on it, and this is just bull crap right here. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel about this whole situation. It is what it is. She talked about the Indiana Fever season opener that's coming up. Let's take a listen to that.
All of our games back at home or here are special. So like even preseason games, they're like real games. So I don't know. I'm excited. I'm just our fans are the freaking best with. I'm telling you, like they're just so damn cool. I'm just excited to be back.
Yeah, but you're not facing the reality of.
Yes, but you are not acknowledging the reality that the fans are so passionate. Just look at the ticket prices if you want to see the true impact of these questionable front office decisions. Prices are starting to drop in certain markets because the sneaky moves by the organization are not going unnoticed by the general public. Fans are not unintelligent. They can see when a player is being pushed to the side for reasons that have nothing to do with basketball performance. They can see when a generational talent is being forced into a role that does not fit her. When you stop respecting the talent of your star player, the fans stop rewarding you with their money and their time.
Nobody was running around saying how awesome the fans are when they was playing in that damn barn.
Sophie Cunningham's remarks about Kelsey Mitchell potentially winning the MVP are incredibly telling regarding the internal hierarchy. Have you heard her or anyone else in that circle speak about Caitlin Clark in that same way? The silence is absolutely deafening. They are promoting a narrative that favors the veteran over the rookie. Regardless of what the actual statistics or the impact on the game might show, it feels like a coordinated attempt to keep Clark humble or, even worse, to keep her in her place while the veterans maintain their status at the top of the food chain. The internal dynamics of this roster are clearly broken based on what we are hearing from these interviews. You have a locker room that seems to be protecting Kelsey Mitchell while Clark is left on an island by herself. It is terrible to use a young woman's fame to support an entire organization while simultaneously undermining her on the floor. This is not how you construct a championship-caliber team. It is how you create a toxic atmosphere that eventually collapses under the weight of its own contradictions. The tension is growing, and Sophie just added fuel to the fire. The offensive philosophy being promoted right now is to make Aaliyah Boston the center and have her run a two-person game with Mitchell. Where does that leave the greatest shooter we have ever seen? It leaves her standing in the corner waiting for a pass that might never arrive. They are trying to turn a high-performance Ferrari into a standard minivan and wondering why the engine is struggling to keep pace. Sophie's admission about the plays being run specifically for Mitchell's left hand is the final proof we needed that Clark is being excluded from the heart of the game plan. Let's discuss those fans that Sophie thinks are so great. She is right about one thing. They are incredible supporters of the sport. But let's be honest about why they are actually sitting in those seats. They aren't there because of a veteran-heavy offense or because they loved the way the team was managed 3 years ago. They are there for Caitlin. Before she arrived, they couldn't fill a high school gym, let alone a professional arena. To ignore that reality is a level of delusion that is difficult to understand. Yet, the organization seems to be doing it every single day. The organizational choice to draft a point guard and then immediately move the offense away from their star rookie is a total mystery. Every sign points toward a lack of trust in Clark's ability to lead, or perhaps something much more personal. Is it jealousy? Is it a veteran hierarchy that refuses to acknowledge the new star of the court? Whatever the reason, Sophie Cunningham just pulled back the curtain and showed us the unpleasant truth. They are prioritizing comfort and tradition over winning and innovation, and it is going to cost them dearly in the long run. When you hear a player say that nothing is run for Caitlin Clark, it should send shockwaves through the entire front office. But instead of solving the problem, it seems like they are doubling down on their errors. They are asking her to do things she has never done, things she isn't even skilled at, like playing without the ball. It is a recipe for failure. You don't take a master chef and tell them to sweep the floors while someone else prepares the meal. Yet, that is exactly what is happening in Indiana. They are wasting her prime years before they even begin. The fix is in. As the old saying goes, the MVP race for Clark might already be over before it truly started because her own team won't let her compete for it. How can you be the most valuable player in the league when your own coach and teammates are designing a system that actively avoids using your primary skill set? It is a tragic waste of talent that the league should be ashamed of, but instead, they are just counting the profits. They are happy to take her money while they actively work to diminish her impact on the game of basketball. Sophie Cunningham mentioned how easily some players fit into the league, but she focused that praise on everyone except the one person who changed the path of women's sports. The intentional omission of Clark's impact while praising Mitchell's left hand tells you everything you need to know about the current culture. There is a clear divide between the old guard and the new wave that Clark represents. And the friction is obvious. They are trying to act like nothing has changed, even though the world around them has been completely transformed by her arrival. The reality is that the Indiana Fever organization is playing a very risky game with their future. They are testing the patience of a fan base that has no real loyalty to the franchise, only to the player they came to watch. If they continue to favor Mitchell at the expense of Clark, they will find themselves playing in empty arenas again sooner than they think. People didn't show up to see a balanced offense or a veteran-led squad. They showed up to see a revolution. And right now, that revolution is being presented as a secondary backup plan behind closed doors. It is almost like they are trying to soften our expectations, as some have suggested recently. They are trying to prepare the public for a season where Clark isn't the star, where she's just another piece of the puzzle. But you can't catch lightning in a bottle and then pretend it's just a regular flashlight. The energy surrounding Clark is too massive to be contained by a coach's whiteboard or a veteran's ego. Sophie's words were meant to explain the system, but they ended up exposing a scandal that the fans are not going to forget any time soon as the season moves forward. We've heard it from the coach, and now we've heard it from the players in plain English. The offense is tailored for Mitchell. It is built for Mitchell. It is designed to get Mitchell to her spots. Not once have we heard those powerful words applied to Caitlin Clark. The organization is literally telling us who they value more. And it isn't the person whose jersey is selling out across the globe. It is a level of disrespect that is rarely seen in professional sports at this level, especially when dealing with a player of Clark's massive and undeniable caliber. The clues have finally turned into a feast of evidence that we can no longer ignore. From the roster moves to the coaching hire, everything was set up to maintain a certain status quo that does not include Clark as the primary engine. It is a masterclass in how to alienate your biggest asset while trying to maintain total control over the narrative. They want her fame and they want her impact on their bank accounts. But they don't want her to actually lead the team on the hardwood. It is a massive contradiction that simply cannot hold up under pressure. Some might call it a total mess, and they wouldn't be wrong to say that. It feels like the league, the front office, and the players are all in on a plan to keep the rookie in check. The fear of Clark's influence seems to be driving them to make irrational basketball decisions that hurt their chances of winning. Why else would you ignore the most efficient way to win games in favor of a system that clearly limits your best player's potential? It is a question that Sophie Cunningham inadvertently answered for us during her recent media session. The Indiana Fever are currently at a crossroads that will define the franchise for years to come. They can either lean into the future and build the team around the generational talent they were lucky enough to draft, or they can continue down this path of veteran favoritism. If they choose the latter, they are essentially choosing mediocrity over greatness. Sophie's comments prove that, at least for now, they have chosen to stay stuck in the past, prioritizing a simple left-handed layup over the excitement of a logo 3 that the fans crave. As the season progresses, every missed shot and every stagnant possession will be scrutinized through the lens of what Sophie Cunningham revealed to us. We know the plays aren't being drawn up for Clark. We know the system is being built for Mitchell. Every time Clark is forced to give up the ball to a teammate, the fans will remember that this was a conscious choice made by the organization. It wasn't an accident or a mistake. It was a blueprint. And that blueprint is looking more like a complete disaster every single day they step onto the court. The final takeaway from this entire situation is that the truth always finds a way out, no matter how hard you try to hide it. Whether it's through a slipped comment in an interview or the falling prices of tickets, the reality of the Indiana Fever's internal struggle is now public knowledge for everyone to see. Caitlin Clark may be the reason the world is watching, but if the team doesn't start acting like it, they'll be left watching her walk away as soon as she gets the chance. The clock is ticking on a legacy and they are wasting every